And we have Dr. Munzir Qaf.
Please, Dr.
Dr. Qaf is a distinguished researcher in the field of riba-free financing, a very distinguished American, and Sheriff Libaka of the Los Angeles County. Dr. Munzir Qaf certificate.
Thank you, sir. Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Dr. Misbah Adrini and Mrs. Misbah Adrini. Dr. Misbah is one of the founders of many institutions. Actually, he started as one of the pillars of the Islamic Center of Southern California. Has been working since 1977 silently to produce a significant institution. And it's long overdue to recognize him. Now he runs a school in West Covina called the Straightway School. And the beauty of it is, it used to be a synagogue, now converted into an Islamic school. It has a wailing wall, and until today, some of the people of the Jewish faith come and pray in front of the wailing wall. Right, Misbah? We're very honored to have him in our community.
Thank you, sir.
And then Dr. Najwa Osgur and Dr. Mahmoud Osgur. I'm sure you've met Mrs. Osgur at the New Horizons. She has been the pioneer at the school. And Dr. Mahmoud Osgur, this is the man that you bring him, a person who got a motorcycle accident, cut into pieces. He's a neurology surgery who puts them back together. So we're very honored to have you both with us. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sheriff Baca, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here.
Thank you very much. He had another function. He made it a point to change his schedule, to come over, be with us, to run over to the other function. Now we know why you're a young man. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Oh.
Other presentations. Where's Anwar?
No, they're not.
They're not here?
You know, just thank you.
Are you with San Francisco? Nice to see you again.
Yeah.
We're also honored to
1 second, we'll
have
get
with
those
us.
certificates.
Mike's going to run to get the certificates. We have with us Supervisor Mike Antonovich. And please give him a hand. Supervisor Antonovich has been with us at least 10 years. Every year comes and supports us, not only us, but every aspect of the activities of the Muslim community in any Islamic center in LA County. And we're very, very honored to have him with us, and thank you for your support as always. And God bless you and your family. And again, he has another function. He had another function to attend, but he came. He's a supervisor of the Board of Supervisors of Los Angeles County. And if you come on the first day of the year to attend the Rose Parade, you will see Supervisor Antonovich in the white outfit and the red tie, organizing, right? We'll give him the microphone.
Thank you, Doctor. It's a pleasure to be with you once again, and our office is to assist you in any of your events or causes, and please call upon us. And I appreciate your friendship and support, and we do have proclamations to give to your honorees tonight on behalf of the County of Los Angeles, which is coming up with our 10.2 million people who represent all corners of the world, and every language and dialect is spoken here. So we're very blessed to live in a place that has all the representatives living in our great community of 10.2 million people, 88 cities, and 134 unincorporated communities. Thank you very much.
Our various honorees, Dr. Munzir Qaf, who is a distinguished researcher in economics and finance. and Dr. Qah and Dr. Qah. Mrs. Qah is attending a wedding in Washington, D.C. And Dr. Qah, here it is.
Doctor?
Thank you.
Okay, I just came from that. Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations, Dr. Qah. We have next Dr. Nazim Ali from Harvard. He runs the Harvard program on riba-free financing, and Mrs. Nazim Ali. Nasim Ali. Thank you. Congratulations. And we have Dr. Misbah Adrini and Mrs. Misbah Adrini. I'm sure you met Dr. Misbah at the Islamic Center. It's a long time ago. And this is not fast.
See you again.
Yeah.
How you doing? Very good.
Thank you, Misbah. Congratulations. This is Najwa Uzgur, Dr. Ahmed Uzgur. You remember Najwa Uzgur of the New Horizons School of Pasadena? Sure. Come on.
You visited our
See you
schools.
again.
Yeah, of course.
How are you? Good to see you.
Yeah.
Please, here.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Congratulations. As always, see you next year. God give you long health.
See you at Beatles.
Oh, yeah. We used to meet at Beatles, which is a small, nice cafeteria, but what happened to it?
The quality went up.
Well, that's what I thought.
Yeah, but I still get there a couple times a month.
All right, we'll see you there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, St. Francis.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters in faith, and a very good evening to you all, ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished guests. My name is Mike Magid Abdullati. It is my pleasure to invite you all here today on behalf of the shareholders, board, management, and the staff of LARIBA, collectively called the LARIBA family. It is our extreme pleasure to welcome you all to Pasadena tonight. We are gathered here on this 12th annual LARIBA Awards night to celebrate and recognize the achievements of several distinguished individuals whom you will meet and learn more about as the night progresses. As is the tradition, it is my pleasure to begin tonight's festivities with a recitation of the Holy Quran. So I would like to ask our brother Mustafa Karmateh to come on up, please. And we will begin with recitation of a few surahs from the Quran, a few ayat from the Quran. And you can follow along with the translation. We will have them on the overhead projector.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الذين ينفقون أموالهم بالليل والنهار سرا وعلانية فلهم أجرهم عند ربهم ولا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون الذين يأكلون الربا لا يقومون إلا كما يقوم الذي يتخبطه الشيطان من المس ذلك بأنهم قالوا إنما البيع مثل الربا وأحل الله البيع وحرم الربا فمن جاءه موعظة من ربه فانتهى فله ما سلف وأمره إلى الله ومن عاد فأولئك أصحاب النار هم فيها خالدون يمحق الله الربا ويربي الصدقات والله لا يحب كل كفار أثيم إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وأقاموا الصلاة وآتوا الزكاة لهم أجرهم عند ربهم ولا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وذروا ما بقي من الربا إن كنتم مؤمنين فإن لم تفعلوا فأذنوا بحرب من الله ورسوله وإن تبتم فلكم رؤوس أموالكم لا تظلمون ولا تظلمون وإن كان ذو أسرة فنظرة إلى ميسرة وأن تصدقوا خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون واتقوا يوما ترجعون فيه إلى الله ثم توفى كل نفس ما كسبت وهم لا يظلمون صدق الله العظيم.
And now it's my pleasure to call a talented young artist, Ms. Allison Crawford.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets ran clear, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber ways of grain, for purple mountains' majesty above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for patriotry that sees beyond the east. Thine alabaster cities gleam, undimmed by human tears. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Thank you so much. As you know, this event is always made more special by the recognition and support of our elected political leaders who spare no effort in the support of our community. One such longtime friend and supporter is our California Senator, Mr. Jack Scott, who will give us a few words.
I recall quite a few years ago when I first met Dr. Rahman, and he began to tell me about LARIBA, and I was invited to this wonderful event. So I've been coming for quite a number of years, and I've been so impressed with what is happening here. And it's my privilege to welcome you to Pasadena. You may be from some other place in California. You may be from another state, or you may be from other countries. And one of the things that has marked this wonderful land that we call America is the fact that it has had a welcoming arm to immigrants from all over the world. In my study of American history, I remember reading a letter that George Washington wrote when he was President of the United States to a Jewish synagogue. And he said, "I want you to know those of the stock of Abraham are welcomed and will not experience bigotry in this land." Well, as many of you are also of the stock of Abraham. And certainly we want to live up to the ideal that was characteristic of George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and those founding fathers who recognized that this country would be founded on religious freedom, and that we would have open arms welcoming people from all parts of the world, from Africa, from Asia, from the Middle East, from Europe, and so that remains true today. And we have the wonderful work of the Muslim community here in Pasadena and throughout our land. We are pleased to join hands, and as a state senator who represents Pasadena and surrounding areas, it's my privilege to not only attend this event, but to tell you how glad we are that you've chosen to have this event in Pasadena, and we welcome you enthusiastically.
And now we will have a brief video about American Finance House's LARIBA services, which will be followed with the dinner presentation.
I was very upset or frustrated at first because it looked like I'm not going to buy any house, at that time. But when we find out the American finance is, for me, it's really, just a good news, very good news. Our understanding is no interest involved, that's the main idea.
When someone first hears about Islamic banking, the typical first reaction is, how do you do that? How can you have a banking system which doesn't rely on interest? Because interest is fundamental to the way we do banking these days.
In the Hebrew scriptures, you find an interesting statement there, I think it's in the Leviticus, that addresses the Israelites that you should not lend to your brother with interest, with riba.
When you're asking what is the Jewish understanding of rebate, then you really have to look at not only the biblical but the rabbinic understanding of rebate. And for the rabbis, these laws would apply in the relationship of Jews to non-Jews just as much as it applies in the relationship of Jews to Jews.
Our members who do business with faith-based organizations, whether it's a church or a mosque or some organization affiliated with a religion, whether they're building senior housing or trying to create small businesses to revitalize a community, or whether they're trying to build a synagogue, our members have never had a loss on one of those loans. So that's a very good experience.
One of the longer lasting impressions which you get is the piety of the Islamic bankers, the sense that they are not just engaging in financial transactions, but that in addition they are fulfilling a religious duty.
Islamic finance as being a part of Islamic economics is much more than being about interest-free finance. It's about trust, honor, integrity in contracts.
The love of money is the root of all evil. Money is available to if you manage it and not let it manage you.
Money can be the devil that can bring you closer to hell, and it can be also the very thick wall to protect you from hell if you utilize it correctly. And that's why I see that any successful Islamic banking is the one that looks at humanity first, looks at the person and develop the person who has control on the money to recognize God in every act.
LARIBA is a movement that we hope will catch on not only amongst the Muslims, but amongst all people of all faith, in Hinduism, Buddhism, Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. And it is a movement that looks at money as a tool, as a measuring device, not as something to be rented.
Headquartered in Pasadena, California, American Finance House LARIBA is a faith-based financial institution. In 1987, a pioneering group of community members created this financial institution that has grown manifold since its modest beginnings. It has become the most recognized name in its field across the United States and around the globe.
Islamic financing is a total concept of financing. It incorporates 3 or 4 different aspects. The first thing is it must be socially responsible financing. The second aspect is the rate of return that's used for the financing needs to be marked to the market. It cannot start from a predetermined interest rate or any interest index. And the third most important item is it needs to be asset-based.
This interest also is known as is rent on the money, which is prohibited in Islam and many other religions.
We are out to disengage people's thinking in terms of riba or interest. We want people to think in terms of the economic viability of every activity they embark on.
We make more of an effort than a traditional riba bank at looking at the property or the car to see if it's a good investment or not.
LARIBA is the only company in the world, and I say this without qualifications, that can reject your home financing or automobile financing application because it does not make economic sense.
LARIBA serves many of the states within the U.S., and we're looking to expand to canvas and cover the whole United States. We currently have offices in New Jersey, so to cover both coasts.
We are the oldest community-owned financial institution in the United States.
They come here to satisfy their faith. So that is more of an obligation on our side to give them the service that they require.
We started with American financing company a long time ago. We had a loan from the American finance company for the car wash 10 years ago, and right now we are starting a new car wash equipment. We are going through the process to get another equipment lease or finance through American finance company.
American Finance House cannot lend for anyone who would like to do business illegally, such as opening bar and selling liquor. We don't do that, it's haram.
We deal with the LARIBA financing company for almost about 8 years now. We finance through them about 3 machines. As far as financing, they are very good service.
LARIBA provides the services and facilities for financing, home financing, somebody who is interested to buy a new home. It can be a condo, it can be a townhouse, it can be an independent house, it can be a duplex, triplex and fourplex also.
I am a civil engineer by profession. I decided to buy a house in an Islamic way, and Alhamdulillah, American Finance House provided that for me. Now I have some sense of belonging. I used to rent apartments for the last 10 years, and I was just going from one apartment to another apartment due to the needs, the rises, the kids was growing.
Once you come to LARIBA or LARIBA family, you feel that you are also a member of that organization.
My name is Ashfaq Shabandri. I'm working in KFC last 15 years, and I own this store last 5 years.
Last year our store was #1. So we got the award for best of the best. The best store in whole Southern California.
I'm very satisfied because of LARIBA, we don't have to deal with the interest and all.
They treat us like a family, That's why we are very happy with them.
Owning a home gives us a sense of security, besides the fact of actually paying lower than what the going rents are in the area. We looked at interest rates and, to compare the interest rates, and in fact LARIBA met the mainstream rates that were being offered.
American Finance House will not deal with you the same way a regular lending organization will deal. You can get to the president through a phone call, you can talk to, they really, when you go to meet them, you get to be treated as a human being. They'll ask you about your family, when is your wife due. We're going to invite them for dinner. We never invited them. I still owe them a dinner after we bought the house.
My name is Claudio Gallego. I'm a nephrologist, and I've joined a group here that has had experience with American Finance Company. I think they're interested in community expansion and helping people to grow, both financially, and they also want to make sure that the people they associate with have something to give back to the community. I respect that philosophy. I think that transcends any religious separations.
We found the opportunity to be competitive with what we got with the bank, so financially it worked out for us as well.
The website of LARIBA gives some background about LARIBA's activities, and it also has some informative links to other information on the notion of Islamic banking and Islamic financing. So both the general background and specific projects of LARIBA, their philosophy and their methods. And my first contact was through emailing them through their website as well.
Honestly, I feel blessed that to work with the people I'm working with. They're from all over the world. So, and of course, they're very committed to our mission, to the company's mission.
We believe we have something to contribute to America. We're proud to be Americans. We live here. This is our home. This is our children's home. And we're trying to deliver a better system, a better product that complements the traditional system out there.
We are a specialized house, and we have a very recognized name as serious, innovative, high quality, transparent, American regulated finance company.
The ultimate goal is to hopefully remove the word interest from every household in America.
What if everyone said, we won't pay interest? Well, there is such a movement. In Dallas, ABC's Peggy Waymeyer.
Interest is banned because under Islamic law, all parties to a financial transaction must share in the risks and the profits, and no party can be guaranteed a return at the expense of someone else. At this Muslim financial institution, one of a handful across the country, home buyers do not receive a mortgage.
We've been very fairly treated by the American media, and we've received great enthusiasm. ABC News, a variety of newspapers. We've been invited to speak on public radio.
I first got introduced to American Finance House when I moved to the United States from Kenya, and I had no credit history whatsoever. It was very hard to get any credit from anyone. And I was trying to establish myself to start my residency, and I introduced myself, and without any knowledge of him ever knowing me, he was willing to help me start or give me a loan without any collaterals on the Islamic principles.
A community LARIBA financier or Islamic banker is a person who doesn't only have money, but a person who is willing to sacrifice his own time, his own life, his own belongings to make sure that the community lives better. It's not only a matter of how much money you make in terms of return on your investment. It is how many assets have you helped accumulate? How many households have you helped open up? How many people have you made their lives better? How many people have you touched not only their vision, their aspirations, their spirits, their hearts, but touched their pocket, their wallets? Because you can tell them anything you want, but at the end of the day they say, well, what difference did it make in my life? Am I eating better? Am I dressed better? Am I driving a better car? Am I enjoying better health care? And that is what a community banker, community financier should always be looking for.
And now, as we begin the main portion of tonight's celebrations, I would like to take just a minute to throw out a kind of a personal shout out to my youngest son, Dean. My youngest son turned 18 today, and he was, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Thank you very much. I'm sure he's very embarrassed. Actually, he wanted to be out with his friends today, but I talked him into coming. So I appreciate him coming. I love him very much, along with his brother Amir and the rest of my family. And also, not on the program is a special award that will be given tonight, aside from the ones that we have listed. This special award will be given to one of the LARIBA family members, and it's not my son, one of the LARIBA family members. It's going to be called the Top Producer Award, and this award is going to be given, it's a secret, we haven't told the person yet, so it'll be given to one of our people tonight, inshallah, and you'll learn more about him as we go. So without further ado, I would like to call Senator Scott up, and we will proceed with the awards presentation. Dr. Qahf receives the Scholarship and Research Award, and Dr. Qahf is a renowned researcher and lecturer in the field of Islamic finance. He has contributed many studies, books, and articles on the concepts of riba-free banking, Islamic financial laws and contracts, and religious charitable foundations. Dr. Qahf has served as a senior researcher, consultant, and economist in a number of local and international organizations. He has dedicated over 30 years to touring, lecturing, and training on matters of riba-free financial transactions and mutual insurance in different community forums across North America. He is a contributing scholar on financial matters to Islam Online. It is a religious advice website. Dr. Qahf is the recipient of the Distinguished Prize for Islamic Economics from the Islamic Development Bank. Dr. Qahf is also an associate of Dr. Najatullah Siddiqui, a renowned scholar of his own and a researcher in the field of riba-free financing, who also was the first recipient of the LARIBA Award in 1993. I'd like to present Senator Scott, who will present the award from the California Senate.
Congratulations on receiving the Scholarship and Research Award from Los Angeles Reliable Investors Bankers Associate. Your hard work and dedication have truly made an impact on our community.
Thank you. May we have Dr. Nazim Ali, please. Dr. Nazim Ali receives the Practitioner Award this year. Please. Dr. Ali is the founding director of the Islamic Finance Program at Harvard Law School of Harvard University, which was established in 1995 under the name the Harvard Islamic Finance Information Program. It's a long name, HIFIP for short. An information management specialist, Dr. Ali has published numerous articles in international journals. He is a member of the boards of several publications. For the last 10 years, he has dedicated his efforts to developing the HIFIP data bank and organizing the Harvard University Forum on Islamic Finance Research. This forum has served to popularize and legitimize the field of Islamic finance, as well as to establish avenues of dialogue among its providers. The published proceedings of the forum are instrumental in the research and studies of riba-free banking and finance field. Dr. Ali is a key speaker at a number of notable local and international conferences. Dr. Nazim Ali, Senator Scott.
Congratulations, Dr. Ali. I want to congratulate you for your research and your dedication. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Thank you very much. Congratulations. You worked as hard as he did, I'm sure.
And now if we may have Dr. Misbah al-Dirani. Dr. al-Dirani receives the Community Service Award tonight. Of course, and Mrs. Aldred, of course, he needs no introduction, but Dr. al-Dirani is the founder and religious director of the Straightway School in West Covina, California, a private, faith-based school. Dr. al-Dirani has been an important pillar and an active servant to the Muslim community in Southern California since 1976. He is one of the original founders of the New Horizons School and also American Finance House LARIBA, as well as a number of other community organizations in Southern California. He has served for over 15 years as the Imam and Religious Director of the Islamic Center of Southern California and is a respected lecturer on matters of faith. His videotape presentations on the rituals and steps of conducting the pilgrimage, the Hajj, are widely used as reference material for the thousands of faithful. Senator Scott.
Congratulations upon receiving the Practitioner Award from LARIBA.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mrs. Özgür and Dr. Özgür. Mrs. Özgür is the founder and until very recently the headmaster of the New Horizons School, a premier faith-based private school in Pasadena here. Mrs. Özgür has been a pioneer in creating and organizing educational, religious, and social programs for the Islamic Center of Southern California since 1986. She has played a pivotal role in establishing the New Horizons School in Pasadena and getting it accredited from the Western Association of Schools and Colleges and the California Association of Independent Schools. In addition to managing the New Horizons School in Pasadena, she serves as trustee on several nonprofit organizations' boards. Ms. Özgür has instituted an annual interfaith breakfast for New Horizons School and other organizations of faith.
Well, as you know, I visited your school and am very impressed with what you did there. So I'm very happy to present you this award from the State Senate as well as the award that comes from LARIBA.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Senator Scott. We're honored by your presence.
For every awardee, we also have recognitions from the following government agencies in the area. We have the City of Los Angeles for each and every one of the awardees, and it's signed by Dennis Zahn, who is the councilman of the 3rd District. Actually, this is a councilman who represents the Islamic Center of Reseda, and he is a very dear friend of ours. And we have also our mayor. Mayor Bill Bogart could not make it tonight. This is the first time in 7 years he couldn't make it, but he had a pressing meeting that he had to go to this weekend. And this is a City of Pasadena recognition. And we also have certificate of recognition from our Congressman Adam Schiff. And this is a very important actual recognition, as much as the recognition of the California Assembly. That puts you in the records, as a matter of fact, and we are honored that you were chosen by the Board of Directors of American Finance House LARIBA. Congratulations to all of you. Now we go to the next step, and that is the awards from LARIBA. And every year, the Board of Directors of American Finance House LARIBA gets a roster of names from our previous awardees. And that roster of names is presented to the Board of Directors, and they decide on who is to be chosen. I'm very delighted to announce that the Board of Directors has chosen Dr. Munzir Qahf for this year's award for research and scholarship in riba-free financing and economics. And we also have chosen Dr. Syed Nazim Ali for the LARIBA Award for practitioner activities in the area of riba-free banking and finance. Dr. Nazim Ali, please. Now, I just want to mention a few things, personal things about these two brothers and gentlemen here. I have met Dr. Munzir Qahf a number of years ago, casually, and we have a mutual friend who is now in Kuwait. His name is Dr. Azarqa. And Dr. Azarqa is another scholar, and he has been very instrumental and influential on me personally. And we met with Dr. Qahf, and I've known you for how long, Dr. Qahf? About 20 years now, right? And I've been very much impressed by his achievements and his work, and God bless him and give him success. Then I met Dr. Nazim Ali for the first time in 1998. We were invited by the University of Harvard University, to make a presentation on the future of riba-free financing, Islamic financing in the United States. And we wrote the first original paper on the subject of home financing, Bill Tugg and I. As a matter of fact, the data in this paper until today is used by some of the major institutions, financial institutions that came to the market after we have opened it up. Dr. Nazim Ali knows every person that works in the area. His program is the most recognized. After 9/11, the Department of Treasury wanted to get information on this area of activity. It was Dr. Nazim Ali's operation that provided the information. And it was Dr. Nazim Ali that invited the Undersecretary of Treasury, Mr. Taylor, to come in and get presented on the ideas of riba-free banking and finance. This is a very humble servant of the community. As a matter of fact, when he holds his annual conferences, he does it on his own. His resources are very limited. But because of his dedication and his wife's patience with him, as a matter of fact, they made an impact and they added credibility to what we have been doing. Please join me in recognition and in appreciation and in congratulations to both Dr. Qahf and Brother Nazim Ali. We have asked Dr. Munzir Qahf to share with us in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, some thoughts while he's doing his acceptance speech on the future of riba-free financing in the United States. And we've asked the same thing from Brother Nazim, Dr. Nazim Ali, and we're going to listen to both of them, but after we give them the award. Should we give the award afterwards, or what would be heavy? How can they speak while they're carrying it? All right? So we can carry it for you. But go ahead and make the presentation, and we will give it to you regardless if we like your presentation or not, right? Okay.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Dear brothers, dear sisters, dear friends, the Islamic financing is something like doing financing as usual. I always say this is the usual way. This is the financing, as a matter of fact. It doesn't need to be called Islamic financing because Islam did not even invented it. So what is it? It is doing business as usual without making any additional assumptions, without making any unneeded sophistications that are unrelated, as simple as you do business, you finance things that may give increment. But things that do not carry increment because of their nature, they simply don't carry increment. They are not suitable as means of financing. When you do it business as usual, business without assumptions, business coming down to earth. What does that mean? I've taught that so many times. What does it mean? It means that a debt does not grow, does not get increment, does not deserve increment simply because a debt is a conceptual thing. It's a concept, it's a notion. It is not a material thing that may grow. Other things, goods, assets may grow. But debts, and for the same kind of reasoning, also cash, try it. Put a cash and a quantity of cash on a table and come back a year later. Do you find it changing? Do you find it increasing? It does not grow. put couple of sheep and come to them a year later, you'll find something different. Put a physical good or similar, glasses, anything, you find market forces changing their values. Same thing for other assets. So the idea then, you want to do financing as usual, as it should be, without any assumption, coming down to earth, coming to ground. That is the financing that is done through either goods or services or doing business together. What does that mean? Again, it means financing can be done by sale contract or by lease contract or by equity contracts. Those are things that may produce. When we put effort with equity and go into business, we may produce, we may get increment. The same thing for leasing and the same thing for sale. That is Islamic financing. Where did it come from? It has come from human beings' transactions themselves, from human being experience throughout history. Was that the invention of Islam? No. But how can we call it now Islamic financing? We want to come back to nature, as simple as that. Come back to the reality of things without putting assumptions with them. That is what we call the movement of Islamic financing. Today, it is a movement to come back to the true things of life. Life has a risk. You cannot throw the risk on one side only. We have to carry it all together. Life has sale in reality, goods that may have different values at different times, that is recognized. This is in fact a reflection of the verse itself. When the reader read for us earlier tonight, that verse that the unbelievers of Mecca argued that sale is just like riba, like interest. But God did not say, no, sale is not like interest. God said, but God made sale permissible and made interest not permissible. Why? What is the difference? Because interest is based on the idea of lending, on the idea of creating a debt, and once you create a debt is not liable to increase. Whereas a good, a service, an asset may increase in their value or in their quantity itself. So come down to earth, come down to reality. That is the movement of Islamic finance and the movement of Islamic banking today. This movement, although it is as old as humanity, but come back to it again, come back to earth again, to the ground, to the reality, to things as they are in the true sense, without assumptions. It started in the mid-70s, and it has been growing since at a rate, started 50-60%, but then it went down to around 11% per year throughout the world. This is a growth in a banking sector that is not precedented in any other segment of the banking sector in the whole world. It is going day after day into land after land, and it is growing and it is advancing because it is doing business the way they are in their true sense, doing business activities the way they are in the real sense, in the natural way of doing it, without making assumptions that are unrealistic. Although you find Wall Street Journal talking about them always, but you come down to touch it, what is it? It's unrealistic. Islamic financing has reached a level now that it is developing capital markets. It is developing its own bonds and instruments, financial instruments that are not interest-based and that serve as tools of instruments for investors, for savers, and whatnot. And it is developing so much interest throughout the world that those who are in the area of training or consulting or these don't find even time to stay home for more than a few days between the training sessions. We go all the way, many people like me, in training everywhere, and because the demand for it is increasing, and it is ever increasing more than any other subsector in the banking business. Thank you very much. Walhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.
The LARIBA Award reads, in the service of LARIBA, riba-free economics and banking, finance and monetary theory, scholarship and research, August 20, 2005. Dr. Munzir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Pleasure. Thank you. God bless.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'll try to make it very brief because I have been told that I should be very brief. First, I will preface myself by stating that the views and thoughts that I will be sharing with you tonight will be of my own, and do not in any way present, the opinions of the Harvard University or the program that I run at Harvard. In the year 2000, Dr. Yahya was at Harvard Forum on Islamic Finance, and he expressed his LARIBA's vision to help Muslims fulfill their investment and banking needs in America without riba. So it was the vision bind Muslim communities by offering investment and financing services as a tool for implementing Islamic values. So this vision expressed by Dr. Yahya is a comprehensive one. I believe it is valid. As well, as we all know that the industry has expanded at a phenomenal rate. More Sharia-compliant products have been developed and offered. A greater number of Muslims are becoming aware of this field as well as the sector. For first and foremost, an area that needs some attention is the cooperation and communication among the Islamic financial institutions in the United States. So while the industry grows, there remains a gap that divides the Islamic financial institution, inhibits the successful growth of the industry. So one of the most immediate consequences faced by this lack of cooperation is the inability to establish a more standardized regulatory regime. We at Harvard University conducted a workshop, an interactive workshop, a round table, a few months ago about bringing Islamic financial institutions closer to each other so that their voice could be heard collectively by regulators. So we felt that there was a tremendous need for communication between the industry leaders and regulators. To meet that need, we wanted to encourage productive dialogue. In the past few years, we have seen reasonable interest in the part of the U.S. Treasury Department, which just Dr. Yahya has outlined to you that we have been working with them, and the Federal Reserve banks, a number of Federal Reserve banks and FDICs and the state supervisory agencies. We need to work with them to create a better understanding and remove misconception about the Islamic banking. In fact, the Federal Reserve Bank of Minneapolis has taken a lead to host a follow-up workshop, which is going to be a round table again, to increase the understanding of this unique line of business on October 4th. To create a better understanding, they also need to pay attention to educating both Muslims and non-Muslims on matters relating to riba and Islamic finance. In the absence of these unnecessary ideas and conflicts, especially elements of Islamic phobia, can be attributed to the industry. This campaign is more important and can be carried out with the mutual cooperation and coordination of the institutions. As another remarks about the Sharia boards, I thought that it's vital to have a central one to bring the uniformity and to encourage the other conventional institutions to enter the market, having a centralized Sharia board. Perhaps some larger Muslim organizations such as ISNA or ICNA would be willing to cooperate with Islamic financial institutions to begin a central Sharia board. But this does not mean that the institution should be mandated to seek only certain scholars. We continually need new Islamic legal scholars who can contribute to the legal aspects of Islamic finance. As for the full-fledged Islamic bank, I'm sure a number of us will be interested in seeing in the United States. Can we learn from the experience of the Islamic Bank of Britain? I believe so. But before we can envision such a long stride, we have plenty of intermediate steps to make. As for the market potential or opportunities, there is no doubt that the demand for Islamic finance in terms of the products and services from Muslims has been increasing. It would be a fundamental misunderstanding, like it was said in the video also of Islam, to believe that this is exclusively for Muslims. As institutions in Malaysia have shown, Islamic finance can be for the benefit of Muslims and non-Muslims alike. The entire concept of Islamic banking is based on justice and fairness and equality, as well as protecting the environment and maintaining the social values. At the end, I would like to congratulate the Islamic Financial Institution in the U.S. For taking a bold step in confronting the media to answer the queries raised by various outlets. There is no doubt that this has helped in creating better understanding of Islamic finance. With this, I conclude my brief presentation. I thank you for your patience and thank LARIBA for inviting me. May God Almighty bless the humanity. Wassalamu alaikum.
The award reads, LARIBA 2005, Award for Excellence in the Service of LARIBA, Ribbit-Free Economics, Banking, Finance, and Monetary Theory Practitioner Event. Thank you.
I accept this award on behalf of my team at Harvard. And I would also like to especially mention the students and the individuals, including my family, my wife, that they have been providing, the support and assistance since the inception of this project in 1995. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
The next segment of the program is very significant to us who live in Southern California, and to me personally. There are two persons that have made a tremendous impact on the community in Southern California. And I think they need to be recognized sincerely for what they have done. The first one is a man that I met in 1976. You'll be amazed if you leave yourself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He will move you around even against what you were hoping for. And we moved to California in 1976, and three people appeared on the scene. Dr. Maher Hout and Misbah al-Dirani and myself. And we started our journey at the Islamic Center. Misbah al-Dirani was so influential in the community with self-denial, dedication, and hard work. And he impressed people so much with his smile and sincerity. And you would walk into his office, you'll find him holding a huge, big, thick book with pictures of those who accepted Islam. Right, Misbah? And he would show you the pictures like a little child, running around with these pictures. I attended a wedding last weekend for a young lady. Her name is Misbah. And she called her baby Misbah. She told Misbah, if I get a girl, her name is Misbah. If I get a boy, his name will be Misbah. And Misbah grew up. Did you know that, Najwa? You probably didn't know that, right? And that was Misbah that got married last weekend from a young man from an Egyptian background. He and his wife dream was always to have an Islamic school. And as a matter of fact, I remember vividly, it was Misbah Adrini and Dr. Mohi. They signed up the original papers, and I was a witness to that, that started the registration of New Horizon. Now, the invisible hand of Almighty God, if you really, really leave yourself to God, He Almighty will guide you. It doesn't take smart, dedicated, vocal people. It takes dedication. Now, at the age of 18, two young couple, beautiful Iman and Burak. Burak is not here. He's on call, right, Iman? And they fell in love with each other, and they decided to marry. And everybody in the community said, that is a mistake. It can never happen. Well, they set an example for everybody. It is not how many years that you put upon you that makes you old or young. It is your maturity that makes you old or young. I've seen people at the age of 50 who are younger than little kids at the age of 10. I swear to God. I'm sure you did too. And I've seen young people at the age of 15 who are wiser than people at the age of 50. And they have proven, and I'm very thankful. Iman, stand up. Iman now. Now, guess what? Now, Iman marries the son of our fourth awardee, Najwa Ozgur, Burak. And happens that Najwa Ozgur is the person who runs the New Horizon, inshallah, after Misbah. What I'm trying to say is, believe me, it is not who, it is what you do. And Misbah started a fascinating journey, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted him somewhere else. And this is a fascinating thing, when Allah wants you somewhere else and you get comfortable. You know, the minute you get comfortable, that means you're not doing well. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to get to work harder. So He created the reasons for him to leave the Islamic Center. And guess what? He stumbled into this synagogue that was for sale in West Covina. And that synagogue, he went and he bought it, and he took a bold step. He did not have the money even, but he took the bold step to buy the synagogue and have a masjid and have an Islamic school, one of the best in the area, especially in Arabic education and Quranic education. As a matter of fact, the synagogue until today has the Wailing Wall, and some of the original visitors of the synagogue would come to Misbah and say, can I come and pray? Misbah say, you're welcome anytime. Right, Misbah? Fantastic. Now I'm going to also go to Sister Najwa Ozgur. And Sister Najwa Ozgur is a great dear sister of ours. I remember when I was in the board of directors of the Islamic Center, we would sit down and talk about Islamic schools, and we don't have people to run Islamic schools. And Najwa we were actually active on the Sunday school. And Najwa was sitting around the table, and I said, Najwa, what do you do? She said, I run my husband's business. I'm sorry, Dr. Ozgur, I took her away. Forgive me for that. I said, but Najwa, anyone can run your husband's business. But you have proven that you're successful. Najwa has 5 kids raised in America and 4 boys, but then her luck broke and she got the beautiful Layla. And Layla now is a scholar in the Arabic language. She just completed her master's in Arabic and Middle Eastern Studies at UCLA, and she's doing her PhD, right, Layla? Right? And I test her in Arabic every day. So Najwa decided to go back to school, finish her educational degrees and a master's degree in education, and she excelled for over 10 years, running one of the model Islamic education institutions in the United States. Najwa just retired from that responsibility and inshallah has wonderful projects to work on. Now let me tell you something. These two were working in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They did not want fame. They did not want money. Najwa worked all these years for no money. Misbah worked all of these years volunteering. And I always tell our brothers and sisters who are harsh and tough on those who work in the service of the rest of the Muslims, remember what Allah revealed, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Muhammadun Rasulullah walladina ma'ahu ashudda'u ala al-kuffari ruhama'u baynahum. So we need to be kind to each other, appreciate each other's work. And Misbah, Najwa, and the family of Misbah, I wish I can mention all of your names. We thank you for your dedication, for hard work, and it's long overdue to say thank you on behalf of everyone I know. And believe me, I know a lot of people who have Misbah and Najwa, right? So please come and take your awards. Thank you very much.
For Mrs. Najwa Ozgur, it reads LARIBA 2005 Award for Excellence in the Service of LARIBA, Ribbit-Free Economics, Banking, Finance, and Monetary Theory, Community Service, August 20, 2005. Congratulations. Thank you. You want to say a word? Please, go ahead, of course.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I'm honored, I'm humbled. I thank each one of you. Allah gave me an opportunity to serve the community, and that's best of the honors. And I was able to do it because each one of you. I know that some of you supported the school with your money. Some of you supported the school with your prayers. Some of you supported the school with your blessings. And we needed all of those. Like they say, it takes a village to raise a child. Each one of you is part of that village. Without you, we couldn't have done it. And we still need you. I totally believe, wholeheartedly believe, that the future of American Muslims depends how well we raise our children. And New Horizon is trying their best. And I'm sure that there are many other organizations. Today I feel that I'm honored with this award. But each one of you, in a different field, you're working towards the Islamic movement in the United States. And each one of you deserve it more than I do. But thank you very much to LARIBA and to all of you. And I remember 15 years ago, when I was trying to make a decision if I should take over the responsibility of the New Horizon School, Dr. Yahya, a dear friend, he told me something that it always stayed with me. I was worried about my children because I have 5 children and they were very young. What would happen to my children? Would I be able to give them what they need? And my first job is to be a good mother. He told me, you take care of Allah's project and He will take care of your children. And I told myself, this is a great deal. If Allah is going to take care of my children, He would do a much better job than I can. So I took the job. And alhamdulillah, with His guidance and with all of your help, New Horizon became better and better. And inshallah, it will even become better. I gave my resignation to New Horizon School to establish an association for Islamic school. Inshallah, if Allah wants, it will grow too, and I still need your help. And I appreciate each one of you, and may God bless you and give you opportunity like He gave to me. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
And now the final award goes to Dr. Misbah Al-Dirani. It reads LARIBA 2005 Award for Excellence in the Service of LARIBA, Ribbit-Free Economics, Banking, Finance, and Monetary Theory Practitioner Event. Thank you. Congratulations.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين، نشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. It's a long night for you, and I tried to be away from talking to you. Dr. Yahya insists as usual. So we'll not say the story of our life, but we like to end with the verse of the Holy Quran that we already heard it in the beginning. The reciter, with his nice voice, recite أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. O you who believe, have taqwa, and when you say anything, be sincere and do it the best you can to serve a real purpose. Then Allah will fix all your affairs, will be in charge of your children, your business, your wife. Everything in your life will be run by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala if you watch saying your words. And if you obey Allah, His messenger, then you will be the real winner. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Just want to share with you a personal experience. In Ramadan 1987, Misbah and I took 10 checks. Each one was $10,000. We went to what is now the Wells Fargo branch on Lake Avenue and California, and we opened the account of American Finance House. And of course, it was a dream, and alhamdulillah for what we have done.
Mr. Sayyid Rahman, can you join us, please? This is a part of the program we've been looking for. Come on up, please, for a second. If you see in the program, he's performing Nat. We have a little surprise. As I mentioned earlier, if you were listening, we're starting a new tradition this year of recognizing the top producers for American Finance House LARIBA. So while we have Mr. Sayyid here, before we get started, Mr. Rahman is receiving the award this year. Mr. Sayyid Rahman, or Afzal, as he's known to his friends and closest friends, joined LARIBA just a handful of years ago. And after serving a long and distinguished international business career, working in different companies in the subcontinent, Africa, and the Gulf, He was not a stranger, however, to LARIBA, since his daughter Zareen had also worked for LARIBA in prior years and had proven herself. Although he had no knowledge in riba-free banking or mortgage finance, he eagerly and quickly learned this new profession. Mr. Said's strength lie in his ability to communicate with his clients in a charming and a convincing way, and he is one of the most popular officers of our company. At any time you walk into his office, you'll find him on the phone with at least 2 calls waiting to speak to him. His hard work and dedication is reflected in his production, and he routinely closes more transactions than other officers, and we're very proud of him. And his clients always refer a lot of clients to him. We're very proud of you, Mr. Said Ahmed. So we have this little surprise, and then we'll let him perform. The award reads, Top Performer Award, Mr. Said S. Rahman, in recognition of your outstanding contributions and services to clients and the mission of LARIBA.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's a
good surprise. Really. My God, you made me crying.
I just want to tell you something about Sayyid Rahman. His daughter Zareen, where is Mrs. Sayyid Rahman? Mrs. Sayyid Rahman, where are you seated? Please give her a hand. Zareen, their daughter Zareen came to work for LARIBA for about 2.5 years. And then she said that my dad is coming from Saudi Arabia. And he came from Saudi Arabia, and we interviewed him, and I said, Sayyid, do you know how to use a computer? He said, no, I don't know how to use a computer. I said, okay, Sayyid, you go and teach yourself how to do the computer and come back. Sayyid Rahman went, and he was very serious. He learned how to do the computer in 3 months. He came back, and he became the most successful officer at LARIBA. It's a manifestation of the most important thing that the Prophet taught us. If you are sincere in your work, inshallah, you will achieve. And we're very proud of Brother Said. Sayyid Rahman also is a singer, a poet, and he's going to share with us his beautiful voice, inshallah.
Thank you very much, Dr. Yahya, Mike, and all our distinguished guests who have said so many beautiful things, so many good things, and I have no words to thank. And I cannot find the words how to thank all of you. We had a nice time, and unfortunately this is the time we have to actually end up with our program. And I will not take much time of yours. Maybe I will sing a couple of songs. I request you to please accept me, tolerate me, and I will try my best to meet your requirements. Thank you very much. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I will sing a song from a Pakistani film, and the name of the singer was Ahmed Rushdie. And Golgappe wala, golgappe wala, golgappe wala aaya, golgappe laya, oh golgappe wala aaya, golgappe laya. गली गली गाता फिरे हंसता हंसाता फिरे आया रे देखो जी आया रे बड़ा मजेदार मेरा गोरा गोरा माल है जैसे गोरे गाल रे गोल गप्पे वाला आया गोल गप्पे लाया चोरी करना जुर्म है प्यारे मेहनत करके खाना चोरी करना जुर्म है प्यारे मेहनत करके खाना रूखी सूखी खाकर भैया लंबी तान के सोना रे भैया लंबी तान के सोना अरे आना नन्हे आना अम्मी को बुलाना नन्ही जान को भी लाना आज ये सौदा जो खाएगा कल भी खाने आएगा हाँ हाँ सच बोलता हूँ भाई आज ये सौदा जो खाएगा कल भी खाने आएगा गोलगप्पे वाला आया गोलगप्पे लाया गोलगप्पे वाला आया गोलगप्पे लाया गली गली गाता फिरे हंसता हंसाता फिरे आया रे देखो जी आया रे बड़ा मज़ेदार मेरा गोरा गोरा माल है जैसे गोरे गाल रे गोलगप्पे वाला आया गोलगप्पे लाया यार की बातों से भी बढ़िया मेरा मिर्ची मसाला यार की बातों से भी बढ़िया मेरा मिर्ची मसाला कभी नहीं भूलेगा यारो आपको ये मतवाला हो यारो आपको ये मतवाला अरे आजा गोरी छोरी वो खा ले जोरा जोरी गोलगप्पा मेरा जैसे चंदिया कटोरी इमली के चट खार ले ले आज मजा आ जाएगा हाँ सच बोलता हूँ भाई इमली के चट खार ले ले आज मजा आ जाएगा गोलगप्पे वाला आया गोलगप्पे लाया ओ गोलगप्पे वाला आया गोलगप्पे लाया गली गली गाता फिरे हंसता हंसता फिरे आया रे देखो जी आया रे बड़ा मज़ेदार मेरा गोरा गोरा माल है जैसे गोरे गाल रे गोलगप्पे वाला गोलगप्पे वाला थैंक यू वेरी मच शुक्रिया थैंक यू मुस्तफ़ा या मोहम्मद मुस्तफ़ा या मोहम्मद या मोहम्मद या मोहम्मद या मोहम्मद या मोहम्मद आरज़ू है यही अपने दिल में मिलके हम सब मदीने को जाएं आरज़ू है यही दिल में अपने मिलके हम सब मदीने को जाएं धूम से निकले हम अपने घर से झूम कर हम मदीने को जाएं ऐ खुदा इल्तिजा है ये मेरी इश्क़ अहमद में यूं मौत आए जान दे दूं नबी के कदम पर और वहीं मुझको दफनाया जाए जान दे दूं नबी के कदम पर आबरू मेरे आका बचाना क्योंकि दुश्मन हुआ है ज़माना या मोहम्मद ना तुम रूठ जाना चाहे ज़ारा जहाँ रूठ जाए या नबी सलाम अलैका या रसूल सलाम अलैका या हबीब सलाम अलैका सलवातुल्लाह अलैका या नबी सलाम अलैका या रसूल सलाम अलैका या हबीब सलाम अलैका सलवातुल्लाह अलैका सलवातुल्लाह अलैका सलवातुल्लाह अलैका Dr. Ji, thank you very much. I heard you have been patiently listening me.
I'd like you to join me too if you're familiar with this. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammadin Nabiyil Ummi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallim. Allahumma salli ala
سيدنا محمد الذي جاء بالحق المبين وأرسلته لله رب العالمين.
So we thank you very much, and I'll ask Sheikh Adam Sheikh to make a dua. Please come and make a dua for us.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم اقسم لنا من خشيتك ما تحول به بيننا وبين معصيتك، ومن طاعتك ما تبلغنا به جنتك، ومن اليقين ما تهون به علينا مصائب الدنيا، ومتعنا بأسماعنا وأبصارنا وقوتنا ما أحييتنا، واجعلها الوارث منا، واجعل ثأرنا على من ظلمنا، وانصرنا على من عادانا، ولا تجعل مصيبتنا في ديننا. اللهم لا تجعل مصيبتنا في ديننا، اللهم لا تجعل مصيبتنا في ديننا، ولا تجعل الدنيا أكبر همنا ولا مبلغ علمنا، ولا تسلط علينا بذنوبنا من لا يخافك ولا يرحمنا يا رب العالمين. اللهم إنا نسألك العفو والعافية والمعافاة الدائمة في الدين والدنيا والآخرة. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك، نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت، نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين.
Is there a film in it?